On today's episode, we are going to talk about this market. The market is down pretty big right now. For example, the SPY is down almost 6% for the day. And then there's certain sectors that from their peak of the week or for the past month, these sectors are down close to 30% from the peak. For example, airlines, cruise lines, car rentals, some of those have taken a big hit. So on today's episode, we're going to take a quick look at what's going on there and then just my thoughts as a long-term investor. So let's get started. All right, so first, let's just take a look at the overall market. The SPY today ended the day with almost about a 6% drop. That's actually pretty insane. It dropped down almost $20. But let's just take a look at SPY's return since the bottom in March 23rd. The SPY, the overall market, has returned about 34% to investors, counting the 6% drop it did today. And that's in a matter of what, three months that it increased 34%. So I do think, yes, it is scary that today we saw a 6% drop, and from the peak, the overall market is down close to 7%. But 7% drop compared to a 35% increase in the past 3 months, I don't think it's unreasonable. But we do see a lot of different sectors taking a big hit. For example, American Airlines, from its peak in the early this month, June 8th to now, is down about 29%, close to 30%. But if we take a look at the return since the bottom, this has still returned close to 50% to investors. So unfortunately, right, if you did pick up at the peak, things are not looking good for you right now. You're already down 3% in a matter of few days. There's a lot of companies that have been trending recently, right? Gnus is one of them. Gnus, from its peak right now, is sitting at about 50% drop from the peak. Then we have other companies like Hertz that just reported bankruptcy, and somehow these companies were still up after bankruptcy. This is down about 63%. Another one, cruise lines, right? Cruise lines, since the peak earlier this month, is now down close to 30%, very similar to airlines, right? And what is the major driving point right now? Right, one can always speculate, right? I don't think anyone can really know why the stocks go down, but it's one of the main reasons that people are discussing prices going down there is the fear of a second wave of coronavirus, right? Certain states that opened up earlier compared to other states are now showing a huge increase in numbers. So that's one of the reasons. A second reason is just after a healthy pull up, why is it not expected to be a pull down, right? And just like I mentioned, right, airlines and cruise lines, companies that people are expecting to go back to pre-COVID level, even though the business is no longer going to be the same as it was before COVID-19. Why would you expect to see such a heavy increase? So I get it. I see what's happening, but unfortunately, I know people are losing money. And throughout this next, I'm going to talk a bit about how my portfolio is doing right now, just to show you guys I have skin in the game and just my thoughts. But right now, right, one thing I am seeing is we have seen an increase of what many people are calling Robinhood Traders. And Robinhood Traders, I think it's such a weird thing to say, where people kind of talk down about Robinhood Traders. I personally, when I started off in Robinhood because it was such a great platform. I still think it's a great platform, but I moved out of there. I started investing about six years ago, and I have made tons and tons of mistakes, and all those mistakes have helped me out throughout the process. So I think it's actually pretty, I get kind of salty, even though I'm no longer a Robinhood trader, when people kind of down talk on Robinhood and the people that are using, right? I know you guys, right? If you are a Robinhood trader, what you're really trying to do is trying to improve your money, just like any other investor. So I would never knock anyone's hustle for the way they're trying to make money, right? Like I said, in this market, you can make money in so different ways. You can be a trader, you can be a long-term investor, you can be a short-term investor, you could be a swing trader. So there's so many ways to make money in this market. Unfortunately, I do think right now there's just a lot of people that we have seen, right? I'm pretty sure Robinhood showed the numbers that in the past recent months, the amount of people that have created a new account has been exponential. And this sometimes is a little bit worrying when we have pretty much, right, the past 3 months, ever since the peak in the SPY has been kind of a bull market, right? In theory, since since the peak, the stocks have just keep going up and up and up. So unfortunately, if you are new to investing, you might think, hey, this is how investing is the easiest thing, right? Let me just buy airlines, I'm up 30%. Let me just buy Hertz, I'm up this amount per se. Genius seems amazing. Let me buy this amount. And like I said, some of these are actually true. But I think one needs to be able to have a plan and understand the risk of what happens with investing. And I do think the only bad thing about Robinhood right now is, and just the overall market, which I think it's both a good thing and a bad thing, that it's so easy to enter, right? And for that reason, because it's so easy to enter, when I started, I pretty much just opened an account and I started throwing money in about 5-6 years ago. And like I said, that's a good thing. But the bad thing is, if you want to, if you come with the mentality that you can double your money and coming into something a few weeks, even a month, right? Like I said, I've been doing this for 5, 6, 7 years. And every day I put so many hours into learning about the stock market, into learning about companies. And I'm still nowhere near a professional, right? All of these are just my opinions. These are not any form of advice. And for someone like me who has been doing this for 6 years and still believe that there's so much more that I don't know, I just hate seeing that feeling when people just come in for a week, come in for 2 weeks, come in for 3 weeks, a few months, and believe that, hey, this market is so easy to make money in. And then I do have a small Discord channel where I see certain investors coming saying they lost so much percentage of their portfolio in just the past few days. And to me, it tells me that there is a little bit of a disconnect in education or just planning, right? You need to understand your risk and reward analysis in anything, as a trader, as a long-term investor, and as in anything. So like I said, today's episode, what I'm pretty much going to do is just talk about the reasons why this, even though we have seen a big drop in the market right now, what are my future steps, what I'm gonna do, and what are some reasons why I'm not that panicky right now. And if you guys have been following me, I did a pretty much a same episode when my stock portfolio went from here to down here. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, so I have experienced a lot of different emotions in this market, which I think has helped me become the type of investor that I am. And before we go any further, guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the thumbs up, and the bell. It helps the small channel out so much, and I truly appreciate all the support. Finally, if you guys ever want to get in contact with me, I'm very active on YouTube, I'm very active on Twitter. All the information should be below. And I also have a Discord channel, which is free to anybody that feels to join. Obviously, I have some rules there, but if you guys want to come ask questions, just feel free. Remember, I am not a professional and nothing I give is advice. And after this video, like I said, if you're new to my channel, this is a new segment that I'm doing. It's more like a daily news and more like a daily journal of what happened in the market and how I'm reacting. But normally what I do a full in-depth analysis of earnings of companies and pretty much just break down what I know about that company and take a deep information look at everything this company has provided. And like I said, this is what I pretty much do. So I pretty much breathe and eat all types of companies' documents, and this is how I have evolved myself into becoming a better investor than I was a few years ago. I continue to learn something. So after this, I am thinking of doing an Adobe earnings. They just reported earnings today, and if I do have time, I think I might do Lululemon, but let me know if you guys are interested in any of those two videos. All right, so now, first, let me just go be transparent, right? There's no reason for me to be transparent, but this is just a way to show that, hey, I have skin in the game, right? I'm not charging anybody for the service. I have no Patreon. I have no advisor. I'm not recommending anything, but just to show, yes, I am getting hit hard with this right now. I have 3 accounts, and each account I have different accounts. Like I said, I'm continuing to learn. So each account I have for a different style of investment purpose. Maybe I'm trying to do a new investment style, and that's why I created a new account, so I can see that progress going on. For example, my small account right now is sitting close to $2,000. Yes, it dropped about 6% today, but overall that account is still up 9%. And my small account, I pretty much started because I had a lot of friends ask me, Jose, I have very little bit of money. Can I make money still in the stock market with a small account? And I got tired of saying yes, so I decided to create a small account and just be able to show that, yes, you could. The second account is my Medium account, and my Medium account, again, is very new as well. And this pretty much started when the whole COVID-19 started to happen. The Medium account right now is sitting about 8.5. It's up about 1,300, and it's up 17%. And this one is pretty much my growth account, my growth stock account, and I started to evolve more into a growth investor, and that's where I'm kind of having record of how I'm evolving that investment plan. My next is my large account. Again, this one's actually fairly new as well. I started in November, and it was pretty much my YouTube account, just to, again, if I was to talk about a company and I liked it, I would put skin in the game. And this one's sitting at about 22. It's up barely nothing, $200, up 0.1%, 0.9%. But again, right, even with these big drops, my account is still pretty good for me, and I'm still liking the way my accounts are doing. And how am I able to do this? That's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to mention some of my plans and some of the things that have helped me keep a clear head, right? Because still look at that, my big account down $1,400 in one day. That to me is crazy, right? And it might be a large account to me, but to others, it might actually be a pretty small account. And it's all about perspective, right? And like I said, I'm not here to judge anybody about anything. If you consider my account small account, that's on you. That's you. I'm never going to criticize anybody for the way they trade, the way they invest. But like I said, there's certain rules that I follow, and I'm not going to break those rules because those are the rules that, for my experience, have made me lose money some way or another. All right, so the first reason why I don't pretty much panic right now is because I have a plan, and every time I invest, right, there's one thing I know for certain. The one thing I know for certain, even with all the knowledge that I have collected in the numerous thousands of hours of research, I know one thing, that I don't know anything. I could be wrong at any time. And that has helped me out a lot with one rule. None of the companies in my portfolio, and I have my portfolio on my Discord channel, again, I update it whenever I buy, I update it whenever I sell. And none of my accounts, or none of my stock positions hold more than 10% of my portfolio. And you might be like, Jose, that's actually pretty crazy. I've actually invested 80% of my portfolio on airlines, and I made so much money. I'm way better than you. That's congratulations to you. Congrats to you. But again, that's just not the type of investor I am, right? I would never do that. And that's because I understand my risk tolerance, right? There's that one moment. I do think one of the main reasons I have ever lost money is because I sold too early, and or if I got too worried and I got weak hands and I ended up selling. And the thing that ended up happening was because I held too much my positions were too heavy in a certain company. So when I saw that company drop, my whole portfolio would drop big. And that would just give this unease turbulence to my stomach. And something I'm not able to control is that emotion, right? And that emotion that gets you there, it's going to make you sell. It definitely makes me sell, and I would sell for a loss. So after seeing that and experiencing that a few times, I understand that now I'm never going to invest more than 10% of my initial capital on one position. And what does that happen? If the company drops a lot, my portfolio will take a hit, but it's not going to take a big hit that's going to make me do on irrational things, right? So that's my first rule. My second rule is always understand what you're investing in, right? For me, like I said, every single day, I pretty much study a whole different company. I take a look at a 10Q report, at least one every day, and I try to understand the company. I try to understand their competitors. I try to understand how the market is reacting to them, and I try to understand their business, right? And just believing that the business will do good does not mean that the valuation will do good. One perfect example for me, again, a lot of people have made money in this company, is Gnus Stock. Right, Gnus Stock, people were going crazy at it when it was $7, saying that it was the next big thing. I do believe that the company itself will be good. They have a lot of cool things. They have a lot of smart people working for them. But back then, at a market cap of close to $1 billion, and they were barely making any revenue of about, $10 million in revenue. That just did not add up to me. So even though I am pretty bullish in that business, and that business will grow just because of what they're doing, I just didn't think it was worth the price. And I think that's a big differential of what's happening right now. People are like, yes, airlines are the increase of airline traffic has gone up dramatically. So that should mean airline companies should go up in stock price. But no, I mean, I have seen these companies, they could keep going up, right? In the short term of things can keep going up. I'm more of a long-term investor. I don't care what happens next week. I probably don't even care what happens next month. I'm here for the year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, because those are the ways you make about 10 times your money, 550 times your money, even 100 times your money if you buy a company that has great plan, that has a great financial history, that has some great financial revenue, and all those together help you find that hidden gem that's out there. And for that reason, I always think it's great to have a plan. For me, my plan is 1, never invest more than 10% in a portfolio. 2, never ever invest in a company that I do not believe in both market and revenue wise. Like if the financials don't make sense and the business case does not make sense, you would not see me invest. And that's okay, right? Sometimes I might be wrong and I might pick the wrong stock, even though I did all that work. But and if the company does go up, if I didn't pick a company and that company goes up, that's okay with me, right? Because it just did not meet my plan. And the great thing about this market is you do not have to pick every single winner to make money. You just need to pick a few winners. And if those few winners you continue to hold, those few winners are going to make your portfolio big and big every time. And like I said, with a 5-10% position in your portfolio, if in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years, they go 10x, 50x, 100x, that's a big change from 10% of your portfolio to a big portion of your portfolio. So even a small position can end up being a big winner, but if you end up losing, you don't end up taking a big hit. All right, so now some of the things I'm gonna do right now if the market continues to tank. The first thing is I'm gonna think if the market continues to tank tomorrow, I'm gonna take some time and actually sit down and write down some of the companies I want to buy if the company goes down. And I think this is actually a pretty good thing, especially just to know, right? Have a set list of companies that, hey, when that if things get cheaper, these are the companies I'm willing to buy, and it would actually give you it actually gives me a good way of knowing where I can use my money. The next thing I'm gonna do is make sure not to go all in, right? One of the things, like I said, I'm bad at timing the market. I don't know when the market is gonna go back up, and I don't know if it's gonna go back down. So if I have a lot of money right now, I'm not gonna put all that money to work right away, because if the market continues to drop, it's gonna suck for me, right? Because I have used my money a little too early. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna divide how much cash I have right now and see every time it drops X amount of percent, I'm willing to put X amount of money into that portfolio. And like this allows me to do not only diversify in stocks, but it also allows me to diversify in the way the market is reacting. And the final thing is dollar cost average. All of my positions I bought for a reason. So if I want to increase my positions in any of them, now is the time that I'm going to do it. And again, these are all the reasons for me not to be panicked, and just my thoughts about the overall market right now, right? And like I said, these are just my thoughts, and just from my experience of being in the market, it is how I'm reacting right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Like always, make sure to subscribe, hit the thumbs up and the bell. It helps the small channel out so much, and I truly appreciate it. Best of luck to all you guys. I hope your accounts are doing great, and I hope you guys are doing great. So take care.